Hello everyone, Nathaniel Gavronsky, and I'm at the corner of Broad and Wall Street. Now this intersection is very important. I'm going to get to that here in just a moment. Today is September 17th, and that is U.S. Constitution Day. Now the holiday itself is really not all that old. It wasn't ratified and became an official holiday until 2004, thanks to Senator Byrd, who got it through the legislature and made it an official holiday. The whole purpose of the holiday is for all schools that receive federal funding to teach the history of the U.S. Constitution and the early days of the Republic to all of its students. Now, in fact, the first school to actually do this were the public schools in the state of Iowa in 1911. Now, the reason why this location is significant, I'm going to get to that here in just a moment, but let's go down why today is important. Well, September 17th in 1787 is the day that the Continental Congress at the Constitutional Convention in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, signed their names to the document, leading it for ratification for the various states. Now, out of the 13 states, 9 of them had to ratify the Constitution before it could come into effect. The first one was the state of Delaware, which actually broke off of the state of Pennsylvania to ratify the Constitution on December 7th, 1787. Now, the 9th state to complete this circuit to make the Constitution valid was New Hampshire, which voted it in on June 21st, 1788. Now, just a short while afterwards, as the government was getting set apart, they had, the members of Congress were selected, the members of the Senate were selected, which were very different from the way it is today. It used to be that the state legislatures elected the U.S. senators, and the members of the House of Representatives were directly elected by the various peoples of the United States. Now, to get things going, they needed to have the president. Now, the only president to ever be unanimously elected was George Washington, and his inauguration took place right behind me at Federal Hall on April 30th, 1789. So this was actually a few months after he'd actually already kind of started doing the job, but his inauguration took place right behind me. He arrived in a kind of a tweed brown suit and placed his hand upon the Bible on a balcony that's actually inside the building behind me. This building, Federal Hall, has been rebuilt, knocked down, rebuilt a couple times since then. But this is the location of George Washington's inauguration. If you kind of look around behind me, this is the New York Stock Exchange off of Wall Street. Right behind me here, this is the J.P. Morgan building from the infamous Baron J.P. Morgan, that the bank J.P. Morgan Chase bears his name. And as you kind of travel down Broad, this is actually Broad behind me, used to be a canal. It was like a drainage canal when the Dutch still controlled the island. And right behind me here, that is Trinity Church. That's where Alexander Hamilton is buried. So this is kind of a little bit of a brief history of the U.S. Constitution and its importance to New York City, which was the first capital of the United States, while Washington, D.C. and Philadelphia would take place here and there, bits and pieces of it. But until Washington, D.C. became the official capital, New York did serve temporarily as the U.S. capital and where George Washington was inaugurated. So that's a little bit about the U.S. Constitution and its importance to New York City and this location at the corner of Wall Street and Broad. I'm Nathaniel Gavronsky. Have a happy Constitution Day.